It's obvious that you listen to this show to hear about and support other people's dreams. But what about yours? What is your dream project? I'm here to help you break through whatever is in the way of your dreams and get you to the finish line. Go to dreamingbigcoaching.com today and take the first step. Literally, it's a button you can click to sign up for a free consultation with me. Let's find out if I can help you reach your goal. Click on Take the First Step. It's that simple to start the rest of your life. Get coached by Rob Southgate at dreamingbigcoaching.com. Welcome back to Go Fund This, the podcast where you find out about the coolest crowdfunding campaigns out there that you definitely want to know about. I'm your host, Rob Southgate, and today I am joined by Andrew Gillis from Evil Hat Productions to talk about the backer kit for the TTRPG Girl by Moonlight. Girl by Moonlight is the featured game of the month on one of my other podcasts, TTRPG Insider. All month, I'm featuring interviews with the people behind Girl by Moonlight, the artists, the writers, people that are behind the scenes making this incredible game. The link to TTRPG Insider is in the show notes. I would love for you to check it out. There are some really fun interviews on that show. Oh, and please rate and review this show wherever you listen to this podcast. It really helps others find it, which means more people hear about these fantastic crowdfunding campaigns.
This is a project I've been following.
Here's Andrew.
And we actually had a conversation with Sean Nittner where we actually talked about this a little bit, but he's also part of your company, Evil Hat. So we kind of got into this, and he's actually the reason we decided to make Girl by Moonlight our featured game this month. So listeners, expect a lot of people on TTRPG Insider talking about Girl by Moonlight and about what they do as writers and creators and artists. But on here, this is Go Fund This. We're going to actually talk about the crowdfunding campaign, even though I'm going to share it also on TTRPG Insider. So today I have Andrew with me. Andrew, why don't you tell people who you are and what you do?
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrew Gillis. I'm a game designer. It's kind of a novel title to ascribe to myself, but I have published a game now, so that's what I am.
You are.
And I've been in the hobby for a long time, in various kind of forms, doing some actual play shows as a cast member, that kind of thing. But this is my first foray into game design proper and actually, putting out a finished product and publishing something.
Cool. And the game you're doing it under Evil Hat's umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And Evil Hat's such a great publisher. I love Evil Hat products. So this was really exciting when I saw they had a new game. And I love the graphics and everything. I was like, ooh, I want to know more about this. It's called Girl by Moonlight. For those of you listening, you can go to Backerkit and you can support this by typing in Evil Hat. You can type in Girl by Moonlight. You will find this there. Let's get the business part out up front. You had a $30,000 goal. We have 24 days left. I'm not sure if you're going to make it. Oh, wait a minute. You're at 173,526 already. You have crushed this goal, which means we are now into crushing the stretch goals, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're laying down track as we go a little bit because we went way bigger than we expected to. It funded the kind of base offering before I woke up the day that it started. I woke up and found that it had funded in under an hour and everything was all on its way to like the third stretch goal or something like that, which felt really nice.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So the project's been very successful. Yeah.
That is amazing. What a great place to be. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go in here and support it. It's a great game. You can get your copy through here. We'll get into what the tiers are so you know about that. But here's something that I try to talk about on these shows on Go Fund This. And those of you listening on TTRPG Insider, pay attention to this too. No matter what level they're at, if they're at $175,000 and crushing it, they still want money to go in there because this is what fuels the company. This is what keeps, as you mentioned, you're laying down tracks. So it's what keeps the train moving. and you want to fuel Evil Hat by supporting Kickstarters or backer kits or whatever it is they're doing at this point. This is a backer kit, by the way. So yeah, Girl by Moonlight, get in there and support it and share it and tell your friends. Okay, I think I got the business out of the way. Andrew, why don't you tell us about Girl by Moonlight? What's the premise?
Yeah, so Girl by Moonlight is a tabletop role-playing game, and it makes use of the magical girl genre, and it's a game for telling stories about a group of magical girls struggling against an oppressive world or society that they live within, and banding together in solidarity to change that world for the better and to try to struggle through that difficulty that they're facing.
Very nice. The thing that got me right away was, number one, the graphics are fantastic. It immediately made me want to click on it and see what was going on. But you've got magical girls, tragic struggles, defiant triumphs. I have a 16-year-old who is all nerded up. I saw this and I'm like, yep, she wants this. She totally would be into this, as would her friends. And it's nice to see something that is something that would be, I don't want to say targeted to her, but that would definitely be in her wheelhouse, that isn't pandering, that isn't trying to sell them something. It's kind of like how Sailor Moon affects so many men and women can look at it. Doesn't matter. It's all great. But I know so many women, so many girls that really connect with Sailor Moon because it doesn't do any of that stuff. It just is what it is, and it just celebrates the nerdiness and the whole thing. And that's what I got here. So I guess it's a testament to you, Andrew. This is really fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. And I've tried to kind of extend the umbrella a bit of the idea of a magical girl, and take a bit of a queer reading of it. And so this game, even though it leads really strongly with Girl by Moonlight, it really is meant to be something that a lot of people will find a line in on, and that will resonate with them in various ways. And that the kind of central metaphor or symbolism of the game is flexible beyond just, being a thing for girls. It's a thing for trans people, for queer people, for the gays, the lesbians, etc. Like everyone's gonna find something in there that's gonna speak to them.
Absolutely. And once again, without like exploiting it or pandering to it. I look at this, I'm like, yeah, this is fantastic. I know my daughter's going to want this the second she hears this show. It's so great. So let's talk about the tiers. What we're doing here is you're paying for the book, I'm assuming, is what we're going for here. But when we get into the tiers, there's some extra things. So what do you think would be some tiers that people should check out, that they're going to want to focus on?
So one thing that I'll highlight up front is that regardless of what version of the game you pick up, whether you're getting the printed copy, the special edition, whatever, you're going to get a PDF of the game that is ready to go. You can play it the moment you back this campaign. You'll have everything you need to play the game.
Oh,
we just wanted to make sure that this was in people's hands straight away. That was really important because the game, due to a bunch of stuff on my end, has been delayed for like a couple of years. Honestly, we're lost in the process of making this. So it was really important to me that people be able to grab this thing straight away. And so we do have a special a special printing of the book that you'll only be able to get through the Backerkit offering, which is the limited edition. And that gets you a special cover and papers. It's got a nice ribbon bookmark set within it. And it has an alternate cover art and a no text kind of back cover, I guess. So it's a much more aesthetic version of the book, which for those that are excited about that kind of thing, I just want to make sure that they know that this is their chance to get it. And we also have a Jumpstart bundle that includes some really nicely printed and presented materials for running single sessions of the game. So these were things that I built out to be used at like in a convention setting or whatever else, where you have this nice fully formed scenario that's ready to go. It has ready-made characters and it's ready to pick up and play. And this Jumpstart bundle includes a really nicely printed out folio that has all of the information for that. So you can throw that down on the table and people can be grabbed by the art on it, pick it up, look through it. They're going to get inspired and get excited about what they want to play and come to the session, ready to go. So it's a good way to kind of jumpstart or shortcut yourself to like a session that has momentum and is going to be fun to play. So those are the big ones that I would highlight, especially because the value of the Jumpstart bundle thing is a little bit uncertain for some folks. We got a lot of questions about that one, but I do think it is something that people will really like once they get their hands on it.
Yeah, actually, I think your pricing is great on this. That limited edition, $45. It's an absolutely stunning cover. I think that's excellent. And the Jumpstart bundle at $50, you're getting the book, you're getting the modules. I mean, I think that's a great price. As far as I'm concerned, that would be the one to jump in on. Although I take that back. The Magical Girl bundle is the one to jump in on.
Yes, the big one with everything. Yeah.
But it's only $65. Like, this is the type of premium thing that I usually see at a little bit higher. I think you are giving so much value here and bringing people into this game. I love it.
Yeah, and part of the advantage too, right, is that like back when Evil Hat brought me in and signed me up to publish, like the game was, mostly built out, and so it's kind of a situation where I'm coming to them with a mostly completed product, and we're getting it from game that exists and is functional to a book that you can actually get in your hands. And so, we're not trying to like pay me a salary to design the game or whatever, right? Like I'm getting paid on the back end. So this means that we can actually, present all of these things at this stage in the backer kit at pretty reasonable rates, because it's just, you're paying to get the stuff. You're not paying for me to make the game.
Right. So it does lower the cost up front, I guess, because it's already done. I love it though. I love the modules. I think everything looks cool. This game sounds amazing. I love that you have the Roll20 modules for those people that are at home wanting to play that way. That makes it nice and easy that you're set up for that. Hi there. I'm Rob Southgate and host of this show. This is the trailer for TTRPG Insider, a podcast about, you guessed it, tabletop role-playing games. Actually, it's more specifically about the amazing people that create TTRPGs. Each episode, I'll interview someone who is involved in making the games that we all love to play. You'll hear from world builders, artists, musicians, writers, marketers, people that run the Discord, and really just anyone involved behind the scenes. And this isn't just a promo show talking about how great their games are. I want to hear their stories. How they got to where they are, what's their history with gaming, any tips they can give, and hopefully some fun stories about their lives. So, let's make this official. Welcome to the TTRPG Insider Podcast. TTRPG Insider is a celebration of an industry that I love. I started this show so I would have a chance to talk with the people that you might meet at a convention if you're lucky enough. So grab your dice, throw on some headphones, and come with me on this journey. Oh yeah, make sure to subscribe or follow wherever you listen to podcasts to hear our first episode when it drops this week. Stretch goals. I mean, yeah, at this point, you have blown past so many stretch goals. Do you want to talk about what people have gotten so far? Do you want to talk about what's coming up? Because, I mean, you've got so many days left. You better be on your game with these stretch goals. It's still going, man.
We're in a situation where we really do need to think, like, how much more stuff do we need to build out? But what still remains to be unlocked coming up is something that actually I do feel is really important, which is that we have a set of stretch goals that are just about paying the core team from the book, paying those people more. So as the project is more successful, we are going to put some of that success into the pockets of the people who got us there, right? So all of the artists, the editors, the indexer, all the people who did the work of making the physical product of the book happen are going to get a little bump every time we hit these stretch goals. So I think we hit 160, and that's one of them. We're very close to the 175. And if we hit all four of them, it's going to give basically 100% pay increase total to those folks. And they all deserve it so much. Like the art team did incredible work. I was so happy with everything that they brought forward to us. we had someone kind of come in last minute to make the cover, but the cover turned out beautifully. And just throughout the whole process, I write some prompts, I give some basic character descriptions, and then these artists come back with these fully realized drawings of, with interesting takes on the characters that I never would have anticipated. It was such a wonderful experience. And so it feels really important to pay those people commensurately with the success of the project. So that was a big one that we wanted to include in here. But the stuff we've already hit is essentially this idea I had of compiling a zine or a set of zines that just include other people's kind of essays, short stories, art, etc., in and around the magical girl genre and the kind of themes of the game. And so we've had 40 contributors work, all funded thus far. And these things range from like I said, like illustrations to game running advice, and even personal essays, stuff that's almost kind of autobiographical or semi-autobiographical, as well as short fiction, all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be a resource for people who get it to get inspired, see other takes on the genre, and kind of expand the scope and people's sense of what is possible within that space. And so it's going to be a really handy companion piece to the game itself.
Yeah, really cool. In fact, that's one of my favorite things with TTRPGs, like a couple of them that I've worked with, how they did either comics or novels, or they have books of essays, about the characters or about the world. It's so much more immersive. I mean, if you think back to when we first started playing TTRPGs and playing, like, I'm old, so D&D back when it was like, one. You didn't have that supplemental stuff. You kind of had to go, ooh, Lord of the Rings is kind of this. That's kind of the supplement. But now I love how these worlds are getting fleshed out for us and draw us in so much. And it becomes canon in our heads, Mm-hmm. So I love this idea of having these zines and expanding the world that way. As you go forward in stretch goals, after we've gotten everybody paid at 100%, what are you thinking? Are you thinking more of those? Are you thinking, do you want to tell us anything? You don't have to.
Yeah, so some ideas that are still floating. I mean, one thing that was really useful about this zine structure is that it was extensible. And so the reason I pitched it was to say, like, okay, this works if we hit 2 of these goals. This works if we hit 10 of these goals.
Right.
Ultimately, we can kind of stretch and expand this thing or contract it as needed. So there's definitely room to add more zine content. It's just a matter of finding more contributors and kind of shaking some branches and seeing what falls out. So there should be some potential for that. And also there might be some stuff that I end up just making up for myself to do, giving some extra work on the project. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. But the thing I will not do, so just to not get anyone's hopes up falsely, the game is going to be what it is. It's kind of something that I want to keep contained. So I'm not going to be adding like new playbooks to the game or new character types or stuff like that. The game is already this kind of 4 games in one modular design that I came up with, and it's already as big as I would ever possibly want to make it.
So it's fully realized at this point. You're not going to add.
In terms of my vision for the game, yeah, it is fully realized, and we're going to keep that. But that does leave room for, other kind of extended content in terms of, design blogs, essays, or whatever that I might end up writing or contributing that are kind of in line with what the zine entries have been thus far.
Very cool. I was going to ask if there's anybody you wanted to highlight from the team, but you've got a huge team and everybody I'm seeing on here is awesome. I think you've just put together, or Evil Hat has put together, just an amazing team of people. I think you've got an amazing group behind this, contributing on every level. And it shows. It shows when you look at this, when you look at the content, when you read about it, the stuff that you've put out there is truly fantastic. And once again, I can't urge people enough to go in and support the Backerkit. It is going to be in the show notes once again, so you don't have to go searching. But if you do, look for Girl by Moonlight or look up Evil Hat. I think this is the only Evil Hat going right now. It's
for
hard
now,
to tell. For
they
now.
might have some other projects cooking up soon. One thing I will add for anyone who's kind of on the fence, they've heard this pitch or whatever, and they're like, oh, maybe that's for me, but I don't know if I like, I don't know if I like Andrew's game design. One thing that people can check out for free is that there is a little like preview PDF on TTRPG that you can download for free. That's kind of a couple of sections from the book, just to give you a sense of, what my writing is like, what the sensibilities of the game are, that kind of thing. So if you are uncertain or just hearing about this and want to know a little bit more, that would be a great place to look as well. And so that's on RPG, and you can just go and grab it. You don't have
is
to
that something that's playable? They can play a little segment and kind of get a feel for it? Or is it more it's more a vibe on what you do?
It's a little bit more of like a trailer, right? Like it'll give you a sense of what's in there, but it's not the whole thing. So
had to ask. You never know. I've actually interviewed people who are like, no, they get the game, the basic of the game, and then they get the book, and then blah blah blah. But cool, very very cool. Well, Andrew, like I said, you are the feature of the month, or your game is feature of the month on TTRPG Insider. And we're going to go through, I don't know how many people, we got a lot of creators involved in this. And I already have a whole group of interviews lined up. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to dig through their stories, hear about them as people and their backgrounds. And in fact, I'm going to invite you back on, Andrew, for that show. So we don't have to pitch the tiers and the stretch goals. We can just get into your background in everything.
Everything. All right. The whole autobiography.
Yeah, right. No, I love those shows because they go off the rails. I interviewed one guy and it turned into a whole conversation about his favorite horror movies because he couldn't stop. And I'm like, you know what? It's not a horror game. Let's go for it. It's a blast. So I'll have you back on there. And anybody listening, if you're on TTRPG Insider, get ready. This month is going to be full of it. If you are on Go Fund This and you want to hear more about this, or you're into gaming and you want to hear the stories of the people involved, jump over to TTRPG Insider. I will put a link in the show notes for that as well. And it's the featured this month. So get in there and listen and get excited and support Girl by Moonlight. Share it with your friends. You don't know who out there is going to think this is absolutely awesome. Like I did. I saw it. I reached out because it was so cool. And here we are. And that's exactly what's going to happen with some of your friends out there. So let them know it exists because they may not know. Andrew, Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks again to Andrew for coming on the show and sharing this incredible game with us. I love everything about it. Follow the link in the show notes so you can support this backer kit and get your own copy of Girl by Moonlight. And don't forget to share this on your social media. If you or anyone you know has a crowdfunding effort about to launch or currently going, send them my way. I love to share cool projects and to help people reach their goals. You can connect with me through the Go Fund This Podcast Facebook page or via email directly to rob@smgpods.com. You can find a link to this backer kit and any links we discussed in the show notes. Go Fund This is a production of Southgate Media Group, hosted, edited, and produced by me, Rob Southgate. Thanks again for listening to Go Fund This.